keep up with your style. I can't keep up.
Mother of 4 who proudly proclaimed her anti-vax status dies of COVID. A California mother of 4 who was proudly anti-vax, particularly anti-COVID-19 vaccine, died of complications due to the coronavirus. Kristen Lowery, 40, was a figurehead on social media, proclaiming her anti-mask and vaccine views that garnered high praise. She died on September 15, her aunt said, according to Yahoo News. "We will miss her always," her aunt wrote. "So many people need her here, but God must have special plans for her in heaven. You are so loved, Kristen. And will be so missed." Kristen Lowery proclaiming her anti-mask and vaccine views that garnered high praise. On social media, Lowery's sister Cassie wrote on Facebook before her death that she was fighting for her life against COVID and pneumonia. "My sister has a long life left," Cassie wrote in a since-deleted post. "We need you here, sissy. Your kids love and kiss you so much. Please don't give up," she continued. Since her death, Lowery's Facebook account, which features a profile picture of her with the caption, "Unmasked, unmuzzled, unvaccinated, unafraid. Together we win," has gone private. Kristen Lowery leaves behind 4 children. In a picture captured of her profile since going private that was posted on Reddit, Lowery can be seen holding up a sign that read, "Give a voice to the vaccine injured." In a GoFundMe that's hoping to raise money for her final expenses, Lowery is described as a beautiful and amazing woman, but more than that, she was a phenomenal mother who always put her children first. She lived for her children, Tayden, McKenna, Ella, and Ryan, and loved being their mother more than anything in her life, the fundraiser statement continues. She was full of life and loved her friends and family fiercely.